One, and you're live.
Welcome back to another episode of Judicial Dollars and Cents. We are at the PILMMA Super Summit event in San Antonio, Texas. And today we have with us Kevin Daisey from Array Digital. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right. So we're here at PILMMA. How many times have you been here before?
This is my first time at PILMMA. I've known Ken Hardison and a lot of folks part of PILMMA for years, and it's one that I've had on my list to go to for quite a while.
All right. And how's it been for you? Today's the last day. Any good takeaways from this experience?
Absolutely. So similar to this setup that you guys have here, did a podcast at my booth, and it's been great. Interviewed tons of guests, met lots of people, lots of relationships that I already had that I got to, people I got to see in person.
Yeah.
That's led to lots of referrals, leads, and I've met plenty of new people too. So
yeah. So
including yourself.
Including me. Yeah. But I think we've met once before, but this is our first time in person too. So,
yeah, in person. Yeah. Yes.
So when you try and get people onto your podcast, what does that look like for you? Is it just kind of referrals, or what's your go-to strategy?
Yeah, just someone that has a story that can bring some value to the guest.
Yeah.
So it's obviously about them, but I try to narrow them down to like, what is it that you're excited about that you can share that might help someone that's listening.
Yeah. So
I try to keep the episodes tactical, if you will. Now here on the show floor, it's a little more fun.
Right.
A little more open.
Yeah.
But my podcast, typically when I'm doing it virtually, I try to narrow down like what's the thing that they're excited to teach.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and your business, Array Digital, what exactly services are you providing your clients there?
Yeah. So we are we call ourselves a growth agency. We work with law firms to build marketing systems to get them more visibility, get found, get more clients. Down to the tactic level, we do everything from websites, SEO, content. We layer on advertising, social media, PR. The goal with these days with AI and search and how people are finding law firms, you have to kind of have a plan to get exposure in lots of different places.
Yep. And
those platforms are looking for firms that have a brand that are active on social, LinkedIn, Reddit. They're mentioned. So that's our goal, is to get as much exposure as possible.
Yeah.
So that the search engines or AI search engines will recommend that firm.
Yeah, and definitely knowledge that lawyers typically don't have in their toolbox, right? And need to outsource that somewhere. And that's one thing we've talked to a few lawyers here this weekend or this few days, that they still try and wear a lot of hats for themselves instead of outsourcing to kind of pull in some of those resources. So
they just need one hat.
That's right.
Yeah, it's I rarely see a law firm be successful with it in-house.
Right.
Some of the bigger ones, I've met some that have, but it's a whole team of people. So they have to be pretty good size. And you can hire a marketer that's a marketer.
Yeah.
They are not ever going to be an SEO expert, a content writer expert, a web developer, a social media expert, a branding expert, advertising. Google ads versus Meta, they're two different people typically, just in the advertising space. And so you're just not going to find that in a person.
Right.
But they're great coordinators and they're great liaisons for us.
Yeah.
So we'd love to have a marketer in-house, but they're not going to do all those things well. So I think it's great to have a marketer. Just let them coordinate, organize other things, referral partnerships, tracking the leads, helping with intake, understanding what's coming in and how it's doing. That's great.
Yeah.
But just don't think they can get from an admin position to be the marketer, and then they can just do it all.
See the success that your company can provide.
You just like if an admin assistant went to the bookkeeper to now they run all the books and they're the CFO.
Right.
They've never had the experience. They just kind of learn on the way.
Yep.
At some point, you need to bring in an expert to do those roles.
Absolutely. And sometimes in our field, what we see is they can take it, to your point, so far, right? Like they might be able to do the actually bookkeeping part, but we can come in and do the consulting side of it. And we can bring that human, advising an element to it as well. So I think it's probably similar in your field of like, they might be able to do it to a certain extent, but we can enhance that and we can show that growth.
And by all means, when you're starting a business, and I have a few, you do what you got to do. You know, you bootstrap it. You wear a lot of hats.
Yep.
And you just have to figure it out. If a firm's too small to afford us or hire us, you probably shouldn't do it unless you're ready to go. So yeah, you got to do what you got to do. But I know for me on like the finance side, we've been leveling up every year. We have a director of finance now in house, not quite a CFO.
Yeah.
But just light years from where we were.
Right.
And we're always tweaking our P&L every single month. We get financials every single month at the beginning of the month.
I love to hear that.
It's a constant tweak because that's how you make decisions.
Yes.
That's how I know if I can go to PILMMA.
Yeah.
And drop $8,500 on a booth and fly in some extra people.
Yeah.
Versus going, all right, I'm going to wait till next month because I want that at least 20% profit margin. If I drop all that money this month, we're going to be a little under that.
Right.
So getting those things in control is important.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing that we try and get our clients, a lot of the onboardings that we take on that's one of the questions. How often are you looking at finances right now? And it is shocking how many are saying quarterly, maybe every 6 months. If there's a problem, someone will bring it to me, that kind of thing. But having that insight on a monthly basis, is huge for the growth in any type of company, in any industry, really.
Yeah. And, like a contingency firm, I mean, even more important, I have predictable monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah.
And we still look at everything and go through it. My business partner's really comes down. He's really detailed, and like he'll pick out something that's like, hey, what's that $50 charge that's on that line? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's and it's like, oh, we don't know. And it's usually something we don't need, or a tool that we don't need, or every month we're unsubscribing from stuff that's like hundreds of dollars.
Don't even really use it anymore.
We have over 60 people.
Yeah.
They ask for tools, then they don't use them.
Right.
And so it's just constant audit. And so if you're a law firm, how many things are you wasting money on that you don't even know about?
Right.
And if a contingency, you have big months, small months.
Right.
You might have lots of months where you don't have any income coming in. So you have to look at your finances.
Yeah. And I imagine it's kind of hard for something like you coming in whenever the firm doesn't have the finances established too, because you're trying to look at, well, what can we spend? What are our options here? And if they have no insight into the financial side, that marketing is almost a really hard next step, I'd imagine. Yeah.
And, and that's kind of, my podcast is all about business, all inside and out, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And as a marketing agency, we used to not care about their intake, or we didn't really look at it. We don't care about how great of a firm they are as far as a business acumen and, how sophisticated they were.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you want to market? Cool. You want to sign up with us? Awesome. We win.
Yeah.
But we go, hey, why did that firm leave? Or why did we lose that firm? Or they went out of business, or they pulled back their marketing? Because there's all kinds of other problems.
Right.
They don't know how to run a business properly. They don't have their finances in check. They don't have a good culture. I mean, it's all the things.
Yeah.
So law firm is a better partner for a marketer for sure. And you should always be marketing.
Yeah. And
you should hopefully always be increasing it in one way or another. So whether you're adding new tactics, adding new channels, adding more people, if you do it in-house, or expanding your budgets. Because if it's working and you're trying to scale and grow, then you should be constantly looking at how can you increase that. Yeah.
So we talked about kind of having them be an established business owner, we'll say, right? You having those different things in line. What other ideal things do you look for in a client? Is it a culture fit? Is it, kind of one thing we find with lawyers is the trust that you have to get their trust, right? Like they're not really willing to take off some of those hats. So what is an ideal client that you look for?
Yeah. So ideal client for us is the owner leadership is involved enough to where they care.
Yeah.
They have to be a cultural fit, meaning if they're assholes, we're not interested.
Right.
If they come in hot with like, this is how it's going to be, you guys need to do this. Nope, that's not how we work. So we need the attorneys or leadership to be someone involved. They don't have to be on every call and things like that.
Yeah.
And again, they have to be willing to take our direction.
Yeah.
So if they're just nope, no one tells us what to do, it's just not going to work. Like, we don't want to have you pay us and we can't be effective.
We can't add value to you. Yeah.
Now, yes, our clients have great ideas. They're in their market. They know their market, and so we need their help.
Right.
But it's a two-way street.
The collaboration.
And you don't want your marketer firm to not like you and vice versa. It's just, you want a healthy relationship there.
Yeah.
We've onboarded a client that the one partner was all nice and good and signed on with us. Insert another partner, not so much, very rude, disrespectful. And we fired them within 3 days. We didn't even bill them yet and just said, you're out.
Yeah.
So we do that when we have to.
Yeah. And it's protecting the culture of your internal team, right? Like, how important is that?
Yes. And that's, another thing too, is like, if we're established enough and we have systems in place and our finances straight, we can make those decisions.
Yeah.
If you're struggling,
Sometimes
you can't fire that client because you need the income.
Sometimes you hang on a little long. Yeah.
So we've had years where, we'd have a client like that we wouldn't let go.
Yeah.
And the team just has to slug through it.
Right.
And it's good to be like, you know what? We're not dealing with that and kick them off the bus.
Yeah. I love that. So are you only PI firms right now, or do you kind of
We're not only PI. About in my financials, 30%, it's like 29 point something is PI.
Okay.
So we have criminal defense, family law, immigration, some business and tax law. But that's they're just kind of spread out across the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would not be doing my job if I didn't ask about AI, right? We're at this conference. I think every other booth is probably some sort of AI.
Yeah.
How has that played an impact in your business and your marketing strategies?
Yeah. So it's, obviously a big effect. And what we've done is we've only hired more people. So we're definitely not getting rid of our people.
Yeah.
What we've done is we're finding efficiencies.
Yeah.
And there's people that we won't bring on that don't need to be hired anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But we used to, for like content.
Yep.
We've built out a process. It's been about a year doing this, but we have our really smart people. They got PhDs in my content strategy team. Like, these people are way smarter than me. They run the strategy. We can use AI to develop the content. And then we use our strategists and editors to come back and redo it all and edit it. So it's no AI is writing it by itself. The person that was in between there, we used to sub out to a contract company that had thousands of people that could write in this state for this law. That's kind of been replaced by AI.
Yeah.
We've brought our costs down, which our clients get more content, more things that we do. And then outside of that, we've taken, like, my head of SEO is now the head of automation for the whole company. And he's just finding, efficiencies, solutions for all the teams.
Yeah.
So AI is not developing our work product necessarily. It's definitely not doing any kind of visual content or social media. That's all still real, and we're still hiring people. But absolutely leveraging it
as a tool. Yeah.
And then we get paid to have firms show up on ChatGPT and Claude and stuff like that. So our goal is to get them found when a client's looking for their services on AI. So that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
And then we're even doing AI ads now. That ChatGPT just rolled out an advertising solution. We're already piloting that. So we'll be offering that to a couple clients to start out to see how it goes.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the next frontier kind of in that space.
Yeah. Has that been kind of your strategy with it, is when you see that, like, as something new come out, you're and kind of going right in to investigate it, maybe not rolling out right away, but at least entertaining it? Or you, because I know some people are taking the approach of like, I'm going to let this run for a little while and make sure it doesn't have the kinks and stuff before I touch it.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're doing it for ourselves.
Yeah.
First off, with a small budget, so that we can understand it, figure out, my ads team can understand how it works, what's good, what's bad. The targeting doesn't look great at the moment, so we'll see how that goes. And then we'll probably have a couple clients that we say, hey, we've never done this, but we have smart people.
Yeah.
Would you like to test this out? We're not going to charge you.
Yeah.
But we need a budget. And so that'll be the first start. If it works out well, guaranteed that'll be rolled out across the board.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work well, then we'll be talking about that too.
Yeah.
So.
That's a great solution, though, to bring your clients into the testing of it and saying, to your point, like, we won't charge you on our end, but it helps us grow, and if it works for you guys,
what if you get cases out of it? Let's go.
Yeah, let's try it.
So, we have some amazing clients that, they're friends. Like, we can talk to them and say, hey, check this out. Here's a thought and idea. Do you want to try this out with us?
Yeah.
That's up to them completely. But they're the kind of clients that they're looking for those ideas. We have to be proactive. every month. You know, just like if I'm talking to my CFO or my CPA, I don't want, all right, you got to owe this bill. Are your taxes ready? Sign them off here. No way. Like, what am I doing this month that's going to help me lower my tax bill?
Right.
What do I need to, you know, they got to beat me over the head to organize stuff and make spreadsheets and track, you know, stuff for things that I do. It's constant.
Yeah.
So every month, every quarter is, you know, what could I be doing better?
Yeah.
Same thing with, you know, our law firm clients.
And it goes back to that collaboration, right? And it's that trust and partnership and the relationship that you've built over years. I'm sure we have clients that we've had years upon years upon years. And like you said, they become friends at that point. And that's when they can trust the ideas that you're bringing out and the things that you're, you know, let's try out something new. And they have more of that trust in you for it. Yeah.
And that's just the best, you know, to have clients that are like that. I wish every client was like that. But, you know, it's funny. I have, I'm in some like Facebook groups where I'll see someone say, I need a new marketing company. And I'll go to like one of my clients that's like in that group and like, hey, hello.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, so, you know, they'll go mention this. But like, you just want to have those relationships where you can just be very upfront and be like, hey, like hook us up, you know, give us a referral.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just the best to have those relationships where we're all trying to go together. I've helped law firms start from one person to, you know, 6 offices across different states. And so that's the kind of client we want to have.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you would like our viewers to know that's up and coming for Array? Anything in the works, or is it just exploring this AI stuff and seeing where it takes you?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be on top of the AI stuff completely. I'll be at a bunch of conferences coming up this year. So I'll be around. I have the Managing Partners podcast.
Awesome.
So tune into that if you want to learn anything about running a law firm. We have the best guest on, including you guys.
Had John Scott,
Yep, John's been on. But we cover all the ins and outs. So every episode's packed with good information. So that's just a great way to, you know, to listen and learn. And also, I'll be speaking at Max Law Con in Atlanta this year. If you don't know what Max Law is, Maximum Lawyer. It's a great group, similar to like a PILMMA.
Okay.
But yeah, look out for me. I'll be on the road.
Great. All right. Well, that's another episode of Judicial Dollars and Cents. Thanks for joining us.
See ya.
Thanks for joining us on Judicial Dollars and Cents, presented by Anders Virtual CFO Services. If you found value in today's conversation, be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcast. To learn more about how Anders helps law firms strengthen their financial foundations and drive growth, visit anderscpa.com. Until next time, keep making smart decisions that make perfect sense.